Alright, hello guys, welcome here. We are live on YouTube, I do believe. Let me double check. This is out of turn 4, by the way. Sorry it's not in a premiere format. Unfortunately, I got a little tied up with some stuff this week and couldn't record in advance and got a little tired last night, but we're live. As far as Facebook goes, I will be downloading this, uploading it to Facebook later on, so Facebook will get a chance to view it a little bit later, but you have to view the live stream right now. And of course, I'll be double checking, I'll be seeing if there's any comments, and we will of course go forward as such. So sorry, I just got to keep double checking. But anyway, as we get going, let's start with the Roval. I want to make this short. I do have some stuff I got to get done. But so we start with recapping, Las Vegas. Josh Berry, he wins the duel versus AJ Allmendinger at Las Vegas. Josh Berry, it is his first Championship 4 appearance. Of course, former bank teller, now NASCAR Xfinity Series driver. You love to see it. Oh, man, I'm so mad it's not AJ, though. But, you know, Josh Berry, I have a lot of respect for him, you know, and how far he's come. And this is just good for him, you know. Congratulations, you earned it. Can't wait to see what he does at Phoenix. I didn't get to watch much of the race, unfortunately, but good to see Josh Berry get in, of course. All right, Joey Logano. He punches his ticket into the Championship 4 after running down Ross Chastain late, and he wins at Las Vegas. It is his 30th career victory, his third win of the season, but that was not the highlight of the race. So, before I do dive into this, I just want to say, first off, I am shocked that Joey Logano and Ross Chastain raced as clean as they did, because both of them terrible reputations for driving dirty. I thought for sure Logano would bump him into the corner, get him a little free, or Logano would pass clean and Ross would bump him going into the next corner. I thought for sure we weren't getting out of that clean. But both of them raced clean. They both had a lot of respect for each other post-race, and Ross just basically said he got outdriven. And there's really nothing more to say about that. But Ross, I mean, and of course, same tire compounds will be, or same tire will be at Homestead. So that'll be good news for Ross, because I feel like he had a strong car when he got the track position. And we'll see what happens when we go to Homestead. One guy that might not be there, and I'm actually going to log into Twitter real quick to be sure that there's not been an update. And actually there has. Guess what? Bubba Wallace has been suspended by NASCAR for the altercation at Las Vegas. It is a 1-race suspension. So, unfortunately, we will not see Bubba Wallace there. This is from Bob Pockris, by the way. So, of course, I will keep checking. I will keep double checking to be sure that. So I will keep double checking throughout the show. If there's any other update, I will bring it up. And if you guys see any updates before I do, be sure to let me know as we go along. But Bubba Wallace has been suspended for the Las Vegas incident. This tweet, of course, coming from Bob Pockris and from NASCAR in the last few minutes here. And actually I got to text my friends about that, but I'm not surprised. You know, as far as who could replace him, I do think it will be John Hunter Nemechek. Again, he was the team's initial reserve driver. Ty Gibbs is already driving for the team in the number 23. So I imagine this will be all likelihood, John Hunter Nemechek. Sorry. This was kind of news that I didn't expect to get as we went live on air. But nonetheless, I have to, get the story straight. So, of course, what happened, for those who didn't see it, Kyle Larson, sorry, I'm going to say it, and you can disagree all you want, but Kyle Larson drove up the track. Whether it was he got loose, whether, he lost control there, but he drove up into Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace got into the wall. Bubba Wallace straight up did not appreciate it and drove straight down the track into Kyle Larson, ultimately wrecking Christopher Bell, ending Christopher Bell's day. And then, of course, Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson both get out of the cars. Bubba walks all the way down the track, not allowed to do that, by the way, to my knowledge, after the whole Tony Stewart and that incident at the dirt track where that driver lost his life. But yeah, Bubba Wallace went down, started shoving Kyle Larson, getting in his face. And I'm not going to defend Bubba here. That was just not right. Plain and simple. And you just can't do that today due to the safety issues that we've seen. And driving down on someone, someone brought up this, and I watched the replay myself. Keep in mind, had Kyle Larson not had Christopher Bell on that outside, Kyle Larson would have backed it into the wall. And we've seen with these cars, if you back them into the wall, things won't end well. I mean, Alex Bowman, Kurt Busch, both have concussions right now. They're both out until they get medically cleared. Or Alex Bowman is still out until he's medically cleared to return. And you just can't do that with these cars. And Kyle Larson could have been the next victim right there. Again, NASCAR's working on fixes for this, but what Bubba did, not okay. By any means, it was not okay. And, I was in his corner as far as what Kyle Larson did was wrong, and he admitted to it. What Kyle Larson did was not okay by any stretch of the imagination, and he made a mistake. And Bubba had a right to be upset. Okay, that's where I will defend it. Bubba had a right to be upset. Bubba had a right to retaliate, but not the way he did it. Okay, that was, I hit you, that was, you hit me, I'm going to hit you 10 times harder. And he took it to the next level, a level that didn't need to be reached, especially with the safety issues of these cars. Just not okay. And, I sort of lost some respect there for Bubba. I still, like watching him race. I still think he's, a great racer, but frankly, I would have even added in anger management there, after that. I mean, we make these drivers complete sensitivity training, and they very well should when they screw up and, say, that stuff. I mean, in today's world. But as far as this goes, probably should have done some anger management in there. But, I anticipate it will be John Hunter Nemechek. We'll probably find out before the end of the broadcast who will be the driver of the number 45 for next week. Someone actually already asked Bob Pockris about it, and his guess is, of course, John Hunter. So it looks like Bob and I are agreeing about one thing. Ben Beshore, by the way, also suspended for the next 4. Well, he's suspended the next 4 races, as well as Darrell Edwards and Michael Hicks from the 18 pit crew. So those are the penalties that have come out from Vegas. And as we move forward, like I said, I just hope Bubba learned something. I hope that, he can move past this. I hope him and Larson certainly talk this out, in a calm, rational manner. But unfortunately, I agree with the suspension, I don't feel there was really much way around it, but there's just no way around it. You just can't, compared to what William Byron did, compared to what others have done this year, that was bad. Compared to what Ty Gibbs did at Texas, that's what I was going for. Compared to what Ty Gibbs and William Byron did at Texas in their separate incidents, this was way worse. So it had to be addressed as such, and I agree with the suspension. I wish, personally, I think a fine also should have been thrown in, but I don't write the rules. All right, on to the silly season news. Some good news if you're Ty Dillon or a Ty Dillon fan. Ty Dillon will be joining Spire Motorsports for the 2023 campaign, driving the number 77. This is the first time this team will have two full-time drivers in the stable, as Corey LaJoie was announced to be returning to the team. How many times are we going to let Ty Dillon have a ride until we realize that he's just not that good? He had a rough year. Eric Jones has showed him up every single week. And, it says more about Eric Jones and what Richard Petty Petty GMS Racing can do versus what Ty Dillon has done. So, all I'm going to say there is, I just don't feel this is a good signing for Spire if they want to grow this team. I think there were better candidates out there. Better veteran candidates, better, even guys in Xfinity, I think were some better options. But good for Ty, I guess, that he's back in the Cup. Another driver movement in the NASCAR Cup Series this week, was Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick was released by RCR he will be released by RCR at the end of the season. And he will join 2311 Racing a year early, of course. Many asked when that story came out midweek, well, what's going to happen to Kurt Busch? What we kind of expected. Kurt Busch will be retiring at the conclusion of the season from full-time competition. He will still race on a part-time basis, by the way. He might still race on a part-time basis when he gets cleared. There's a whole statement on Kurt Busch's Twitter. I don't want to read it because it's kind of a long statement. And again, I'm kind of pressed for time. So, good for Tyler Reddick. Unfortunate for Kurt Busch. I hate this situation. I wish Kurt could have came back and run one more year on his terms. I wish he would, but not my decision, and Kurt made a decision that was best for his health, and I gotta respect that. Kurt Busch, of course, very successful NASCAR Cup Series career. I feel like he had more in the tank, and, again, 44 years old, I mean, he was very instrumental in the growth of 2311 this year. He will, of course, take on an office role. Maybe he'll join Fox as well in the broadcast booth. You never know, of course, because Fox still has that vacancy, or they'll continue with the rotating analyst. But 34 wins in his Cup Series career in 776 Cup Series starts, 339 top 10s, 28 poles, and, of course, the 2004 NASCAR Cup Series champion to his resume. So, Kurt, thanks for everything all these years. Wish we could have seen you run one more year. Hopefully we'll see you running some Xfinity, maybe some Cup races in the future if 2311 and Toyota will allow you to do so. All right, on to some more bad news. And this one, if you're a Cole Custer fan, you won't like this one, or an SHR fan. I know a few SHR fans that were relatively upset with this announcement. But, of course, Cole Custer was hit with a massive penalty after the Roval for helping Chase Briscoe, a $100,000 fine, and a 50-point penalty. And of course, crew chief Mike Shiplett was suspended indefinitely following that race, where he said, "Oh, you got a flat, you got to slow down." Again, though, NASCAR has chosen not to change the round of 8, which they had announced previously in the week. They said had this incident impacted the round of 8, because their judgment on that was that Cole Custer did not have an impact on the round of 8. But where's the issue with this? Cole Custer's helping his teammate. And I said this last week in a video, and I said this a few years ago in a video, that helping out a teammate to me is no big deal. So I guess by this rule, then why don't we stop, every time you push a manufacturer that you're aligned with to a victory, you get a penalty. How's about that? I get the communication aspect of it, and that should, Shiplett should have gotten suspended, but I don't think Cole Custer should have gotten a penalty for that. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't get it. I'm not going to waste too much energy on this either. This just, because we talked about it last week as well. But one thing I think we got to talk about, and I think I forgot to mention this a few weeks ago, so if you didn't watch the ARCA finale on MAV TV, Sammy Smith came out of nowhere, took the victory at Toledo. Jesse Love kind of got bumped out of the way. He didn't appreciate it. Tried to stop Sammy Smith from burning out, and Sammy Smith burned out in his face, basically, while, essentially just revved it up right in front of him and in front of his car and just, started it that way. So first off, kudos to Sammy Smith. What a savage move. He'll probably be in Xfinity next year anyway. But yeah, savage move. I gotta applaud that. But yeah, so Jesse Love, of course, was fined for interrupting the burnout, and Bill Venturini suspended for the next ARCA race, which I believe is Daytona. So Bill Venturini will not be at Daytona in all likelihood. Did this really need a penalty? That's all I don't know. Maybe there's more I missed, but I guess Jesse Love had a right to be upset. But, it was just a funny moment. I don't know. Just to me, I don't see why it needed a penalty, but hey, what do I know? But fun race nonetheless. All right, that's all I got for that. Race weekend picks, they don't change because of the suspension. So no change, even with the suspension. So sorry, still looking to see if there's an update on the Bubba Wallace situation. There is not. So Truck Series at Homestead, John Hunter Nemechek is my pick. I feel like this is just a race he's going to win. Xfinity Series at Homestead, I'm going to go Noah Gragson. I feel like Junior Motorsports has been just so strong in recent weeks. So Noah Gragson, or all season really, they've been just so strong. So I've got to go with Noah Gragson here to take the win. Then Cup Series Homestead, I'm going to go with Ross Chastain. Ross did well at Vegas. He liked that tire compound. Now, again, this could be a Tyler Reddick race as well. I'm not going to rule out Tyler Reddick, but I will say I think it's going to be Ross Chastain this time around. So, again, my picks, John Hunter Nemechek, Noah Gragson, and Ross Chastain. Those are my picks for this week. Again, I'm going to double check, be sure that there's no updates. By the way, Bubba Wallace is the first Cup Series driver suspended for an on-track incident in 7 years. But again, there's no update. Again, I'm checking Jordan Bianchi to be sure. I'm checking Bob Pockrass, but it looks like there's no update again. If you just missed the beginning of the show, breaking news, of course, Bubba Wallace has been suspended for his on-track incident with Kyle Larson. So, unfortunately, we will not see Bubba at Homestead. I imagine signs point to John Hunter Nemechek being the driver of the number 45, but again, we will keep you updated on that. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Tinkle_B_Hummel, and we will update you there. Sorry again to the Facebook viewers that we couldn't do this live with you. When I updated OBS, I couldn't stream to both platforms, but again, that's why you're seeing this a little later, so my apologies. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you soon. Until then, goodbye, everyone.